Hey everyone, this is Lollypop 081 MLE here today, and welcome to part 2 of the speed painting of Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses, all 12 Dancing Princesses. And in this part, I'm doing Genevieve, Hadley, Isla, Janessa, Kathleen, and Lacey. In this part, well, first I'm doing Genevieve, obviously, as you can see right now. But anyways, I will still talk about my process of how I did this, a little bit, get into a little bit of it. But I'm going to actually talk about a little bit of a theory that I came up with on my own, because you guys all know and probably have watched Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses. You know that these girls have a cousin named Duchess Rowena. And Rowena, no, not Rowena Ravenclaw, no, Duchess Rowena, the antagonist of the story. She is the king's cousin, and she actually tries to kill the king and get rid of her royal cousins just so she can get the throne. And keep in mind, if you know the rules of succession, the oldest child gets the throne, and that would be Ashlyn. And I would think, for a theory, this is a multi-part theory, I think Rowena was part of the line of succession before Ashlyn was born, assuming that the king probably had an uncle or an aunt that did marry wealthy and had Rowena. So I would presume that, sorry, I lost my train of thought, that she was next in line to the throne because, you would have to go back generations if there's no living heirs on the current line. So Rowena probably thought, okay, this is going to be my throne. This is going to be my kingdom. So I did add designs here for Genevieve's dress, because if you look at her character design for her dress design, she has a bit of a gradient at her skirt. So that's what I did here, and here is Genevieve completed. So next I did Hadley and Isla, and obviously I did these two together and them standing on stilts. They were the hardest to do because they were standing on stilts. But anyways, back onto my theory. So Rowena was next in line to the throne after her cousin if he died without heirs. And we all know, obviously, he had 12 daughters, and he married Queen Isabella, who we all know she had passed away before the events of the film. And when the girls, they're growing up and they show up their characteristics, and they're a little bit rowdy, not annoying, cruel, mean rowdy, but they cause a little bit of a hectic, even though the king does love his daughters a lot. So he invites his cousin Rowena, come over to my palace. Can you please teach my daughters the importance of being proper? And she seeks her moment. She forces the girls to not be individuals anymore and just dress in all gray, dress the same. As you know, they all dress in these gray plain dresses, and she's trying to teach them to be proper. And you get it, she's well educated. I can understand that for a sophisticated Rococo woman, but that doesn't change the fact that she's still really cruel to them. She takes away their individuality, and she sells their possessions for poison, because we all know she tried to poison the king, and in historical context, that's treason. And her footman, Desmond, is also a co-conspirator. A co-conspirator. So the the princesses do expose her, and when Rowena tries to wish Genevieve to dance forever, it goes back on her. Yeah, Genevieve uses the fan against her. So with Hadley and Isla, I had them standing on stilts because that's their thing. They love acrobats and they do stilts. So here they are complete, and they were the hardest, but I did it. So next I did the triplets here. Janessa, Kathleen, and Lacey. Well, I would have to say Kathleen was the hardest to do for this. But anyways, back onto the theory. So Genevieve uses the fan to blow the magic from the magic flower from, that magical world with the dance pavilion. And Rowena and Desmond dance forever, and they get out of the kingdom after, she becomes acting queen, regent, and she employs new guards, and she actually tries to get rid of her cousins. But in reality sense, I don't think that magic lasts forever. I don't think that dance wish, that forever lasting dance wish lasts forever, because we gotta keep into historical concepts. She doesn't dance forever. They don't dance forever. And once the king is well, and after Genevieve and Derek get married, I would think the king would have a meeting with Parliament, and Parliament finds out about what Rowena had done, and they have the king sign a warrant for her and Desmond's arrest. So that's kind of my thing with, I think that's what would happen. They would send out a warrant for their arrest, and, I'm sorry for the awkward pauses, but so they get arrested, but the king, knowing that Rowena is his royal blood, that's his cousin, royal blood, we all know that. Look at Queen Elizabeth, for example. She delayed executing her cousin, Mary, Queen of Scots. So we're talking about Rowena here. She committed treason. First, she tried to get rid of her cousins, and tried to get rid of her cousin, her immediate cousin, the king, by poisoning him to slowly kill him, and that's, of course, treason, so that she can get the throne. And, of course, her plan backfires because our ladies are bad ass as it is. And, of course, honestly, one thing to note, I incorporated purple hair accessories for the ladies, and I did keep true to their colors from the movie and give them their flowers of choices and their favorite things to do. So for Janessa, I gave her caterpillar. I think his name was Harold. I forgot. I believe it was Harold. And Kathleen has a bunch of paint all over her, even though she's a teenager. And plus, these three I reimagined them as teenagers. And Lacey is a dancer like her big sister Genevieve. But getting back into this, for Rowena. So first, holding off on Rowena, what about Desmond? He was a co-conspirator to treason. He committed treason too. So what would happen to him? Well, I would say it would be unanimous that he would either be sentenced to life in prison, or he would be, in historical sense, committing treason by assassinating the king. You would be executed. So I think Desmond would either be sentenced to life in prison, or most likely sentenced to death in historical sense. That would be the unfortunate thing. As for Rowena, I wouldn't think the king would ever sentence his cousin to death. After all, she is family. I would think he would just expel her from court and send her to a convent. So that is it for this. And yes, I did give them their color schemes, and that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, and please subscribe, follow me on social media, and I'll see you for the next video. Peace!